Okay, so here we go, here we are in the last tutorial of the chapter. So here I'll just explain what nested loops are, how they look like, and the basic concept of them. Well, there's nothing really new here that I will show you, primarily because I've shown you already how the loops work, and for this demonstration I shall use the for loop. It is a simple matter of putting another loop inside the body of the first loop, and so on and so forth. Nothing more than that. So anyway, we have like m and n values, and enter m and n separated by space, so m and n. In the loop, we have the first loop basically just says while I is lesser or equal to m. So here's what will happen. This will be the first iteration. This entire thing will be the first iteration of the first for loop. So the entire inner for loop will finish. It will go from 1 to n. The entire iteration will finish, and it will print out stars. So this entire iteration will complete. It will go into the new line, and then we will go into the next iteration of the for loop. Again, for each iteration of the for loop, or the first for loop, the entire iteration of this inner loop will occur. And can you just imagine what the output will be? So we're basically printing out stars, several stars in one line at a time, and we're specifying basically m and n. They're basically the height and the length. Let's put it like that. You can look at it in such a fashion. So let's go ahead and run this. Oh, this is so typical of me. What am I missing? Of course, cout. Okay, so let's do it. So m and n, let's say 10 by 10. There we go. 10 by 10. They're all printed out, listed there. This is, and you can print various forms, play around with it. Hey, you know what? Try to print a triangle. Try to print a right triangle. See how that works out for you. You will need to, I'm not going to do it for you. You can find plenty of examples on how to do this on the net. There's like 10 billion examples. It's a textbook example. But don't immediately go and jump to it to see how other people have done it. Try to do it yourselves. Really try to do it. I mean, it does help you out with the logic a little bit. It does help you out with logic. Let me just give you a small hint. You will use the index, the iterator from the first loop in the as a value for the second loop. So most likely you don't even need to bother with m and n. You can put fixed values, and you probably won't need the n. N will most likely become the I, so the I will stand somewhere here instead of the n. Anyway, that's my hint for you, that the I will go down as well. So I will be here, but it will also be down here. Something like that. The value of I anyway. So think about it. That's just my hint, but you don't need to follow my hint. You can do it any way you like. I would advise you to try to do it. As I said, it helps you out a lot with logic. Anyway, let's just jump into a conclusion real quick. So loops are really useful and often used in programs. Actually, very often used in programs. There are three main types of loops. You have a for loop, you have a while loop, and you have a do-while loop as well. A bit modified version of the loop is the for each loop, but everything a for each loop can do, well, it can also be done with a for loop as well as with a while loop as well. However, for each is useful for certain segments. I can guarantee that to you. You will see loops used pretty much anywhere, and more or less any program written in C++, any more complex program that is, will contain some sort of a loop in it. That would be it as far as the loop chapter is concerned. Feel free to post questions in the Q&A section. Ask as many as you like. We will be happy to help you out any way we can. Either I or some of my staff members, somebody's going to be there to provide answers for you. That's it as far as this chapter is concerned. After this, we're jumping into a whole new world. No, just another chapter.